I think it gets down to a very simple reality that both parties, but primarily the Republicans, have been such liars, such con artists. There's been so much bullshit and fraud and deception, lies repeatedly, and a turning away from the people who put these chumps in office, a complete turning away, so that the only people who really matter is that 1% that Occupy introduced us to so dramatically a couple of years ago. But we've had enough. I mean, it's finally come to that. And you didn't have to be a genius to predict this day would come eventually. The Republican Party is so fucked up with neo-fascists and Zionists and Christian evangelicals and Christian fascists and Catholic extremists and what else? The Republican Party is just this jumble of total bullshit, top to bottom. And it's eating itself alive, which is great fun to watch. I mean, truly, you know it is. The Democratic Party has its share of nutballs also, but those are the ones who are still sucking at the corporate teat, like Hillary Clinton. So the Democratic Party is facing its own realignment. And the demographics of this country, as we've all been told over and over now, the demographics are changing considerably. It's only going to be, another 3-4 years until we're going to have a minority majority of people in this country who are Caucasian, which simply means that Caucasians will still be the largest racial group. But non-Caucasians across that rainbow spectrum will outnumber the Caucasians by a pretty strong margin. In addition, the age demographics are changing radically in this country, so that not too far in the future, matter of fact, maybe by the next election cycle, here's the thing to remember. The millennials now are the largest demographic bulge, not the baby boomers, the millennials. And for the most part, I think this group of young people is sick of this political bullshit. They're sick of it. They're sick of looking at the problems. And they've got their lives ahead of us, ahead of them. The baby boomer generation entirely is staring at the end of the road. They're staring at the terminal. They're staring at their own deaths, and it's not that far away. But the millennials, they're looking at a future that would take them into the catastrophes of global warming, the catastrophes of religious fanaticism in this country, the catastrophes of fascism in this country, and they're saying, no. That's why the young people, the millennials, by such large margins, vote for Bernie Sanders. So given the fact that these changes are occurring, these demographic changes are occurring, and given the fact that both political parties have more or less said fuck you to the people who put them in office, they just don't care anymore. You know that as well as I do. It's a cliche. We've heard it over and over again, yada, 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 but it also happens to be the truth. They just don't give a shit anymore. Jobs go overseas, minimum wage in this country, nobody can live on it. You work your ass off 40 hours a week. You have student debt. Maybe you have a kid on the way. What are you going to do? How are you going to survive? This is just bullshit. And it's happened because the Democrats and the Republicans made it happen.